Hello everyone, Creative Fun here, back again with another episode of X4 Foundations. And this is episode 2 of our tutorial series, or like introduction to X4. So in last episode we acquired this nice little fighter, which is much better than the starter ship. And we actually found this starter ship. I'm going to open up the map here and zoom out a bit. We're currently in Holy Vision, and we found this starter ship up here in Silent Witness. You can kind of see right around the area where we found it. We have one more ship with Captain Day up here, and I noticed we haven't named this. Now I want to say I like to save my starter ships and not sell them, or as long as they don't get lost in battle or something like that. So just for posterity's sake, we're going to rename. So I'm just going to right click here and choose rename, and we're going to rename the Elite Vanguard here to a little arrow. And I'm going to rename my Pegasus Vanguard here. I believe it's a Pegasus Vanguard, it is. And we are going to name that one Strong Arrow. Maybe we're going with an arrow themed naming convention for this run. So for today, we're going to go into the Xenon sector. I'm going to look for a Paranid destroyer. And this is an old Odysseus Vanguard class, I believe, or Odyssey Vanguard class, I think it's called. It's an older type ship that's actually not used by any of the factions in X4 right now. But this ship is very valuable, so we can sell it for a lot of cash if we want to do it. But before we do that, actually, we are going to have a look at a data vault that also is parked very close to this gate. I'm going to grab that data vault because they usually contain a lot of good materials, crafting materials and modification materials we can use later. And they come also with a stack of credits, which we're going to need. So first I'm going to jump into the cockpit here. I'm going to enable long range scan mode and see if I can just pick up the data vault by scanning here. And there we found immediately the data vaults. They appear as kind of like a purple ring and also like a pink ring on, or a pink question mark on our map here. So I'm going to right click and start guidance to object, and then we're going to enable travel mode. So you can enable these modes and everything from the menu here. I have them bound to keys to quickly enable them on my keyboard, but I play mostly with my controller. So both with the controller and keyboard, I find it's a very good stop here. It's a very good combination, since there's quite a lot of buttons to keep track on. Now this is a little bit of a dangerous place to be in because this is adjacent to a Xenon sector. As you can see here, I believe you can see all the I'm going to show you here with the mouse here. These are all Xenon destroyers, K-class destroyers. These are massive vessels we can see here, so there must have been a huge engagement just a short while ago. And the Paranids are usually quite good at dealing with the Xenon, so this is a sector where we don't need to worry too much about them breaking out from. Hatikva is a much more important place to keep an eye on, and we will be focusing on that a little bit later in this playthrough. So I'm going to clear this data vault just like I did the previous one. So first I check out for these data panels that I need to repair. There's 1, 2. I'm going to go to the other side here and see if we can find any. They're usually red, so we can see 1 there, 3. And we're going to get up and go for a spacewalk. Grab that one. But here is our treasures, so I'm going to grab that first. And to grab the treasures, you need to fly straight at it while activating your container magnet. You can see here now that we suddenly got a bunch of illegal goods. So we need to be careful now not to get scanned by the police while carrying these illegal goods. Usually they don't scan you when you're in a spacesuit, so what we're going to do is we're going to drop these illegal goods in a lockbox or just out here in space before we go into... Let's see if I can get this. There we go. It's unlocked. So going to the menu here, And we click on player information, and we're going to click on our little inventory, and you can see we have a bunch of illegal stuff here. Now these are fairly good for crafting, and they can be quite valuable as well. But right now, if I get scanned with these on, the police is going to demand that I drop them, and then and if we fail to do so, they might start shooting at us. So for this time, I'm actually going to drop all illegal items like this. I'm going to see here if they show up in a lockbox. Here we go. So this is a lockbox. I can retrieve this later if I want, and this is the universe doesn't delete stuff like lockboxes, so it's going to be there now forever. And we can drop. I'm going to see if I have a navigation beacon. I'm going to drop with my ship here. I'm going to just get a docking permission here using a keybind for that. There we go. So I'm not carrying any illegal goods now, and nobody's going to bother my lockbox here, and it's actually quite good to place it next to this vault. Makes it easy to find. I could drop, let's see here, I have a nav beacon, so I'm actually going to drop the nav beacon here. Ideally we're also going to drop a satellite, but I want to drop it a little bit more middle in front here, just to keep an eye on whatever the Xenon and Paranid are doing here. So I'm going to accelerate out a little bit so it's easier for me to click on the satellite in the map menu. Move a little bit here, like that. Go into the map. And now you can see here we have a, sorry, not satellite, nav beacon. We have a nav beacon here in a lockbox. So I'm going to just rename, go to information, and name this loot from vault. There we go. So now we have a nav beacon here and our lockbox there, and they're going to stay there until we want to pick them up later. Go an external camera here and just have a look around, make sure I end up where I want to be. I'm going to drop a satellite here. So somewhere here I think is good. That works. Are we a bit too far? No, that's fine. We're going to drop a satellite here. So now we have a good visibility over this gate. And now we're going to go and grab our Paranid destroyer, our derelict Paranid destroyer. So if you are smarter than me, you would save before doing this, because we're heading into a fairly dangerous area here. I'm going to see here, so immediately we get the warning signal of being attacked. Luckily there's not that many Xenons around right now. I think they just had a major battle, but we have one big cruiser, multiple cruisers here heading out. We want to avoid these cruisers. That's a huge Xenon fleet. Okay, let's try to just ignore like the 4 or 5 destroyers that just passed us. And we're gonna head to, we're at Faulty Logic 1 here. I think we're gonna head to Faulty Logic 2, I believe. And inside Faulty Logic there's a lot of mines. You can just ignore them. Try just not to purposely drive straight into them, but we should go out here. So there's one issue with traveling with these superhighways, as they're called. If we jump in here now, we're immediately thrown out of travel mode, so we're going to activate travel mode immediately. Because as you can see here now, there's a massive amount of Xenon vessels patrolling this gate. And if you're not aware of it, like when you pass through a normal gate, you maintain your travel speed. When you pass through one of those superhighways gates between sectors inside one big sector, what happens is that you're thrown out of travel drive. And that can be quite dangerous, because then you're slowing down and you're open for attacks. So it's very important to immediately activate travel drive. So we're going to go around here, and then we're going to deploy a satellite. I believe we have one advanced satellite. We do. And we're going to use that and see if that can help us spot the destroyer. If not, we're going to use a scanner and see if we can locate it that way. I usually have a little bit of trouble finding this destroyer, because for some reason it's never quite where I imagine it to be. But I believe it's somewhere around here at the edge of the map. So there we have it. I think I went way too far outside first looking for it. But I'm going to show exactly where it is in relation to the gate. So if you're following this tutorial, you can see. It took some time. I went out here, went way too far and started scanning. Eventually made my way back, slowly stopping and scanning until I got a yellow ring again. And then I just headed over to there and now we found it. So now we're gonna capture this the same way we captured our little vanguard here, our Perseus vanguard. However, one cool thing with this ship is that it has docking bays for smaller ships. And as you might remember from previous episode, while we did recruit Captain Day, who is in charge of our little the little arrow, our elite vanguard, this ship we don't have a captain for yet. So what we have to do now is we need to capture this ship, then go back out again and then park our little ship on one of these docking bays. What's unique with the Paranid destroyers, both the Vanguard and the E version, and the Sentinel version as well, they have a huge docking space for a medium-sized vessel as well. So these are very good as like a player mobile base, if you will, because you can keep all of your medium and small player ships docked to this ship. But first comes first, we're going to try to capture this ship. Going to get up.
Perseus,
and
Vanguard.
We are going to capture it. So these are like the signal leak icons or objects, and these are the ones you can scan or repair. So to capture a ship, you need to find this, and it's usually close to the docking bay, and then you need to repair it. You need to get quite close. There we go. And now this is our ship. But before we go in, we're actually going to go straight back to our little strong arrow here. And we are going to pop in and we're going to actually dock to our ship here.
Perseus, Vanguard.
So
Docking
request
granted.
docking, and we got the docking here. We have a docking computer, so just getting close to it should be enough. And there we go. So now we actually we've docked on our capital class destroyer. So we're going to pop out from the cockpit here, and this ship is huge. So this is my small ship. This is the docking bay for a medium ship. Just walking on this one takes time. And this ship has a little bit more interior options than our little fighter. So we're going to head over to the bridge. And we're treated with this amazing view of the Paranid bridge. So it's very flashy. The Paranids are kind of very technologically advanced species, and they also like gold trim on these consoles, which I think is nice. So let's take command of this ship. And let's have a look at her. So just like with the Perseus, these derelict ships, they spawn with random equipment. So we can actually go into ship information and have a closer look at what's equipment on this ship. So we have our ship here. We'll make sure we're on the information page and go ship overview. And here we can see the ship. So we have Teladi beam turrets. One Teladi beam turret there. So it's Teladi equipment on this ship. And we have one dumbfire turret. Let's see what type of engines. We have travel engines, and we have a travel speed of 5,000, 4,955, which is okay. This ship can be very fast equipped with Paranid travel engines, but 5,000 will take it. Let's check our shields. We have 2 Mark II shield generators, so that's okay. We have 156,000 shields. But these beam turrets, they are great. They have very long range, and they're firing beams, so they're super accurate as long as the turret can swivel into target. Let's check what our medium setup is. We have beam turret, bolt, 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 and bolt. What do we have on board this ship? We have a lot of cluster rockets. We have a couple of defense drones and a couple of repair drones. We have lots of mines. Oh my god, there's so much mines on this one. All the mines. We don't have any satellites, but we have a bunch of laser turrets and Mark II laser turrets. And a little bit of flares. It's fully stocked with all the best software equipment here, I believe. Now I hear a sound. I'm just gonna make sure we aren't attacked. No, it's just the music changing. So this ship, in its current configuration, it's not the best, and we really don't have use for a ship like this right now. Although once we get into actually trying to punch the Xenon in the face, a ship like this would be wonderful. However, it's worth much more to us in the shape of credits than it is in current states. Now, to get the full amount of value of this ship, we actually need to get this ship out of this sector, and we need to strip it for parts and sell its stock of laser turrets and mines, and then we will sell the turrets. That's how you get the most amount of credits for your ship. Because we own this ship now, we could potentially also just sell it by simply clicking on the ship. See if I can select it here. There we go. And we could pick a wharf, any wharf. Let's see here. Right now we only found this Argon Prime wharf. We're gonna go and look for the Paranid one as well. But we could right-click here, sell ship, because you get 10 million credits for it, which is actually quite a good deal. 10 million is fantastic for this ship actually. But I believe we can get a little bit more for it if we sell it for parts first and then scrap the hull. So right now this ship is worth more to us in the form of selling parts and scrapping it. But to do that we need to get this ship out, and as you can notice here, it is far less maneuverable than our destroyer, than our fighter. So it's quite slow. Let's check here. I actually want to disarm the drones. I don't like them flying out without me telling them to. We can also, I don't want missiles firing when I'm not in control of them, because I don't want to risk hitting anything. Cluster missiles doesn't care. They're not smart missiles, so if we accidentally fire missiles and then a faction controlled pilot flies inside the range of those missiles and get hit, we're going to be tasked with apologizing or potentially paying for our lives with that, which I don't want to. But the beam turrets and all these medium turrets are perfect for defending our ship. We're not going to kill any destroyers with this, but we're not going to die to some random enemy just spawning right next to us. So the task of getting this ship out is not super easy. So we have our jump gate here, or the super highway to the next sector. And right now we're kind of not quite aligned with it. We want to fly straight in with full travel speed so no enemy can catch us. So we're going to fly a little bit forward here. We want to end up around here somewhere so we can fly straight in without getting caught by any of the destroyers. Now fortunately we have a good set of shields on this ship, and there's no hull damage I believe. So we're not going to die immediately. And this ship with the Teladi, and I believe Teladi has pretty decent boost capabilities, so I think we are able to boost our way out of this if we need to. I believe we are aligned enough now. So one of the issues with the larger ships is that the spool of the travel drive is much longer. I believe it's like take 10 to 14 seconds. And those are 10 to 14 seconds when fighters can swarm you. If they damage your engines, you're not going to be able to go to travel drive. And we want to avoid that basically. So we're going to see if we can line up. We're just going to fly face first into this. So we just need to be enough to hit roughly the center ring here. You can see the bunch of destroyers here. We're not going to survive very long if we try to engage these, so we're going to hopefully avoid them. Flying a little bit too close to comfort, so we're going to see if we can just jump in. Let's hope this is enough. Yes! So through the gate we go, and we start boosting immediately and activating travel drive. There's a few Xenon miners out there, nothing to worry about, but I believe we're going to encounter their main force once we get closer to this gate here. And we can see a lot of the destroyers here. That's one to our left. There's one right in front of us. Two right in front of us. 3 destroyers. And a bunch of attack. Oh, and we almost hit a ship. And we're through. So that's great.
System, Holy Vision.
Now, while we're not best friends with the Holy Order of Pontifex, we're on good enough terms to be able to dock. So I know that the whole HOP's shipyard is just across of this highway here. So we're going to just pass the highway here and the wharf. And we're going to find a shipyard, dock with that. And then I can show you how to dock a capital ship with a station as well. What we have to do now, we have to right click on this station and we need to request we're going to target object.
Shipyard.
And then we're going to press A on my controller then or right click on it, and then we're going to see if we can request docking permission. There we go.
Docking granted.
So here, I'm going to dock now. I believe we have a docking computer, so we just need to kind of align the ship. But the large ships and extra large ships, they have to dock with these docking pylons instead of on the landing pad. And that's a separate structure of the station. So if you want to build your own station and you want to be able to receive large ships, you actually need to build one of these docking stations. So the symbology here is very similar to when you dock on a landing pad. It's just that it's kind of suck you into this little docking place. And here we're docked. Very nice. And now we could upgrade, repair, and stuff like that. I'm thinking I might want to sell. I believe if you want to upgrade and change equipment, you are going to need to dock with the construction yard specifically. Let me show you that. So if we zoom out a little bit here, this is our destroyer. This is an extra large. I'm going to show it the mouse. This is an extra large shipbuilding facility. And these little bit smaller docks, you can see here a Paranid or Holy Order Pontifex destroyer being built. These are construction yards for the large ships, so extra large and large ships. If you want to upgrade your ship and change out equipment, you need to dock in one of these. So even if you first need to dock here, choose upgrade and repair, and then you need to go and dock here. If you are commanding the ship. This is much easier when you have a captain. I'm going to show you that later. But for now, I think we can sell off some of the stock and earn some cash. So we go and upgrade and repair docked ship, and we go up to consumables. Now we're not going to use the mines, so I believe we can just take these mines, and we're actually going to fill this up with flares because it's always good to have flares. And I don't think I'm going to get much use of the defense drones. I'm actually going to sell my defense drone. I don't care much about repair drone. And I'm going to forego at least some of the laser turrets. I'm going to keep some of the laser turrets still there, like that. So we're going to sell this for 2 million credits. So we have no reason to repair or do anything else. So we're going to do that. And I'm going to click in here, and we're going to see if we cannot grab. Can we grab a captain? No, we cannot grab a captain. We need to go and find ourselves a captain. We could potentially hire some crew. It's not going to be needed because we're not going to keep the ship so long. So we'll actually go down and find a captain at the station. So we're going to add the shopping list, confirm order, and we don't need to change because we're just selling off goods that we have on board the ship. We just takes a few seconds to transfer that, and we now have 2.3 million credits. That's fantastic. We could actually buy another ship now if we'd like. But we're going to keep on being a little bit of cheapskates and just grab these free ships that's strewn about because it's financially better for us. It's also quite fun. So you can see our ship now that we own the ship and we're taking command. We actually have a few places we can visit. There's a crew quarters in this ship. And these have this nice Paranid style interior. So you can come in here and then you have a crew quarter. And there's a few other rooms. And if you have a bunch of crew, they will sometimes linger in these places. Right now we're actually going to go to a luxury dock area because I want to see if there's any available crew we can hire. And I think thematically, I don't have anything against the Paranids. So thematically, I think it's nicer we hired a Paranid to run our ship, our Paranid destroyer. I mean, it's only going to be for a short while. Crewman, 1 star. Well, you're perfect. Absolutely perfect. Let's see. You're less perfect. You're less perfect. You're perfect. And for the grand total of 4,450 credits, you're hired as the new captain of our little ship. Here we go.
A wise decision. You will find me a good employee.
Perfect. And you see now he's green here, and he's gonna head off and join us. So our guy here, he showed up immediately. Very good. He's a good employee. Straight to work. He's gonna take command of this ship, and we're gonna tell him to follow us or go where we want to go. So it's gonna soon be time for us to finish this episode, and next episode we're gonna go and do one of the quest missions which allow us to get the player HQ eventually. But first we're gonna give this ship some orders, and I want to show you what you can do with this ship once you have a captain. So I'm gonna click this ship now. It's docked here, and we're just gonna head on over here.
The ship will be undocking soon.
So by default, if you're on board a ship and you're telling your captain to undock, he's going to wait for you to give a command to proceed with orders so as to not just leave you stranded. And this is true if you have a captain on board a small ship and you exit the spacesuit. With the spacesuit and you go back in and you tell the ship to do something, they're going to wait for you to give the order to proceed. So I'm going to click on him here now. You can say proceed with current orders. And now we're going to have an autosave, and he is going to undock. So he's now piloting this ship. Slowly. And he is going to very soon end up where we told him to go. But I'm going to actually call upon my little boy here, Little Arrow and Day. And for now, I'm going to send him, I'm going to stack all my ships in the same place. I'm going to send him and dock with dock and wait. I'm going to send him to this ship here. So what we're also going to do is we're going to check the status of the turrets on this ship, because I am going to want to configure them a little bit. So what we can do is we can go up to object list. We have our property owned. We have Odyssey Vanguard. When right click, information, loadout. And here we have the setting for all the turrets. Currently everything is set to defend. I am going to set it to attack my current enemy. So what that means is that if we tell this ship to attack something and it target that ship, all these turrets are going to open fire on that specific ship. The important part here is if this ship is not attacking anything, the turrets are not going to fire. And that's kind of what we want right now. They is struggling a little bit with the docking procedures. But here we have him. Great, so we're going to conclude the episode here. We acquired this Odyssey Vanguard destroyer, and we have gathered Day with our little arrow, our Vanguard, Elite Vanguard, and we also have our Perseus Vanguard here as well. So next episode we are going to follow this little message we got. We got this wondrous opportunity, which is the start for the quest to grab the player HQ. And we're going to see what type of adventures that will create for us. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next episode.